There is only one place to start the gain this week. Yes, it's the continuing David Haye story. You know it, maverick boxer from South London, goes all the way to the WBA heavyweight title by doing it his way. Proper Sinatra stuff this, trust me. He beats the giant Nikolai Valuev for the title in Germany against the odds, and then his feet literally never hit the floor. Jonathan Ross gets him on the show after first refusing him when he wasn't the champion. He then says yes when he is the champion. David goes to Vegas and the Americans go crazy, and I mean crazy. He comes from nowhere to be in the running for BBC Sports Personality of the Year. It's crazy. Well, the man behind David Haye is Adam Booth. He came up with the plan for the fight. He came up with the deal. He has been listening and talking ever since. And I spoke to him earlier, and I started by asking him if it was a dream or better than a dream.
Yeah, I'm not sure what number cloud we're on at the moment, but you know, it's been a long time coming, a lot of hard work, a lot of stress, but you know, finally I think we've got to what we considered would be the promised land.
Now, quite seriously now, have you actually come down? Have you actually had time to, you know, to spend with your wife and your daughter? Have you actually had any time like that since Nuremberg?
To be honest, I think yesterday was the first day that I started to slow down, and today's my first day off.
Oh,
and,
wow.
and you know, David's flown back to Cyprus today. I'm with my wife and little Isabel, and today it's a nice sunny day, so I think today it's sort of absorbing a little bit.
And sinking in, because obviously you had, after the fight, it was chaos in Nuremberg, then you came back late on the Sunday, you had a week of activities, then you flew out to Las Vegas. What was that like last week? What was the reception that David received from the boxing writers in Vegas and the fans in Vegas?
Well, there was a boxing writers in Vegas. Golden Boy held a press lunch, and there were a couple of hundred of the US press there, and the reception was great. We didn't expect that, you know. We you know, there's been knockers all along the way, and
more on them in a moment.
Yeah, we still believe, you know, they're going to knock us until the end of David's career.
Yeah.
And to get that reception was great. It really was good.
Well, basically, that's the justification for what I've been saying and you've been saying for a lot of years now with regard to this heavyweight situation, that everyone's crying out for a change. Nothing against these Eastern European guys. I'm sure they're lovely fellas and they love their old mums, but they're not doing any business. There's a potential now. Surely the Americans saw that for David to do some business.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, when we decided to do that very abrupt U-turn and go for Valuev instead of Italy, Kerry Davis at HBO wasn't happy. We had quite heated conversations on the phone. You know, I was left with the impression that our position was unattainable. But now, having seen him in Vegas, you know, I think everyone and he has acknowledged that, you know, thankfully, the World Heavyweight Championship and a portion of it has been freed up from that Russian, Eastern European, German grip, and now sort of definitely has a commercial value to it.
Yeah, and what concerns me slightly is that some of the people here, the British media here, some of the promoters here, some of your rivals here, I'm amazed by some of their reactions. I mean, you would talk about critics, everyone's got critics, but have you been slightly disarmed by one or two of the things that have been written and said?
Come on, Steve, you're not really that amazed, are you?
No, I'm not amazed, I'm joking.
It's kind of just like a seal of approval for us.
Exactly, you're stealing the words out of my mouth, yeah. Now let's move on now, Adam, because I'm not even sure where to start with what fighter, what country, who you're going to defend against. There's a trillion things up there. Give me the official line as of tonight, Thursday the 19th.
The official line is John Ruiz was very polite and willing enough to step aside to allow David to have the challenge. And in doing so, we agreed terms for him to have the first crack at David. We have to honour that. We're going to honour that. And we want to honour that. That will be in England between the middle of March and the middle of April.
Fantastic.
At a venue to be decided yet, but you know, there's the obvious venues like the O2, the MEN, Wembley.
Of course.
You know, a lot of venues have shown an interest, and so now it's just time to start dialogue with them.
Now, what about Valuev? Some mixed messages from Valuev this week. Don King, who has a portion of Valuev, saying he advised Valuev not to take the fight. Sauerland, who has a bigger portion of Valuev, saying that's not the case. Valuev, Nico took this fight because it was a good fight, and also Valuev and everybody talking about a potential rematch. Is that something that's been discussed since the fight?
You know, that was. I read that was stirred up by our other German
promoter
nemesis. Yeah. Valuev went on record to say that Don King advised him not to take the fight.
Yep.
Dowland was the one that negotiated it, but in negotiating it, also negotiated in the right to have a rematch clause at some point. You know, it made money. It was a popular fight. It was the only popular fight for him to have.
Of course it was.
He didn't want to fight the other challengers. He accepted the fight against David.
Yep.
He's a man. He's his own man. And if he accepted the fight, he can't start saying that other people pushed him into it. He made that decision. And in doing so, his promoters covered him by giving him a rematch option.
So the rematch, in theory, could happen. There is a clause out there which means you could have a rematch. You're not against that, providing the money makes sense.
Yeah.
And also, Areola looks like Richard Schaefer of Golden Boy. He fancies Chris Areola. He's talking about Chris Areola.
I think, you know, the US are desperate to keep their heavyweights in the frame. You know, they got Kevin Johnson fighting Vitaly. They got Eddie Chambers fighting Vlad.
Yeah.
Areola, in all fairness, you know, and he's a tough guy. You can see he's got a big heart.
Yeah.
But I think the condition that he turned up in for that fight
Vitaly Klitschko, was disgraceful.
A disgrace. And to be honest, you know, he has to prove his worth and get in there and win some fights and show that he actually can turn up in shape and in condition to do what he's got to do before we'll consider it. But you know, but yes, Chris Areola is a name. Obviously, there's Ruiz, there's Valuev, and always in the background there's going to be Vlad and Vit.
Of course, yeah.
But, you know...
Have you had conversations with Bernd Bont, who looks after them, or with either of them since the fight, even a congratulatory text or anything?
No, I haven't heard from the former hairstylist about Ernie.
You're just being mean now.
Well, we'll call Vlad and Vit Ernie and Bert, shall we?
Ernie and Bert and the hairstylist.
Actually, how about Randolph and Statler, those two old moany ones that used to sit in the Muppet shows playing all the time?
That's not bad. Because now they're doing all the moaning. Even
That's
when
what they're going to be doing.
Even when they had that contract to fight them, they were still moaning. Go figure that one, will you?
Any fight between David and a Klitschko unswervingly is a 50-50 event.
Of course,
anything that doesn't reflect that, they shouldn't even bother making the call or the text. I don't expect to hear from them. They got fights lined up. We have David's fight lined up, but if everyone keeps winning, I just see the public clamour for this event just growing and growing.
Right, so David's out in Cyprus. He's relaxing. Has he been bearable since the victory? Because I know you had him on a short leash on the night. In the corner, you were giving him the facts of life every single round, screaming at him, "Don't you dare! Don't you dare go looking for a knockout! Don't you dare go looking for a knockout!" Has he been since? You just let him go a little bit?
Yeah, I think he's surprised and a bit taken back emotionally by the response that the British public have given him.
Lovely.
Let's not forget one thing, Steve. He became European Cruiserweight Champion, World Cruiserweight Champion, Unified Cruiserweight Champion, and World Heavyweight Champion, independent in 24 fights.
Yeah.
And I don't think that has ever been done before.
No, the independent bit, the 24 fights, you're right. That's what sickens your critics.
Well, but also the public applause and public attention to him has happened over the last few months, and I must admit, David doesn't mind a bit of attention, and he's always been used to it. But even his breath's been taken away by it, and he absolutely loves it, and he absolutely loves the fact that the British public are interested in his career. We were walking. The funny thing was, we were walking the night before the fight. We just went out for our late night walk, as we always do, just relaxing and stuff. And he, in a really innocent way, he just said to me, "I can't believe that people that I've never met, that I don't know, are paying money to get on a plane and come here and watch me fight."
Bless him.
And that there was a little bit of innocence in there.
Yeah, well, there is. Listen, Alan, between the two of us, there is a lot of innocence in Dave. There's a lot there. Listen, in many ways he's extremely experienced, but in other ways he is rather innocent.
And I think that's a charming quality.
So do I, brother. And I think, you know what I think? I think the British public warm to that. I really do. I think they see it. They warm to it.
Well, he's gonna, the fight against Valuev might not have been the most entertaining fight as a spectacle.
Sure.
But
as
there
an
was
event,
tension. There was tension the whole way through because everyone was thinking, when's this little man going to get squashed?
Yeah. And also, all of those people in different places had said he would get squashed, so they were expecting it. That's the bottom line.
Well, but it was, it was a freakish event. It was a freakish strategy.
It was a freakish strategy. Don't worry about that.
One that is a bit like a 5-year-old fighting his dad, isn't it? He sort of runs, whacks him on the leg, and runs around the table for a bit.
Keeps running. I loved it. Listen, Adam, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Say hello to everybody for me, and I'll speak to you very soon. Adam Booth, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dave.
Now.